Hey everyone, welcome back to the Ideas and Inspiration podcast. Today I've got Sneha Belani with me. Sneha is a fitness, lifestyle and fat loss coach. And today we are going to be talking about a very important topic, which is how to lose fat. Sneha, thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
Thank you so much, Jit, for calling me on the show.
Sneha, first question for you, all right? You are a fat loss coach.
Absolutely.
How is that different from weight loss?
That's an excellent question. So basically, there is a difference between weight loss and fat loss. So a lot of people think that it's about losing weight, but it's all about losing fats. Because I will just give you a quick example of myself. So basically, probably 5 to 6 years ago, I used to weigh like 65 kilos, and I still weigh 65 kilos, right? But then way back then, I had more of fat and less of muscle mass. But now I have more of muscle mass and less of fat. So through this, I just want to tell you that the weight remains the constant thing. The weight doesn't change. Back then also I was weighing 65 and now I was also weighing 65. But what changed is the percentage of fat and muscle mass ratio.
So your fat reduced, but your muscle increased.
Absolutely. And that's what should be the target of everybody who is in their fat loss journey. It shouldn't be the focus about weight. The focus should be on losing fat.
So does that mean, right, that if someone is focused on weight loss, right, and end up losing weight, it may not necessarily mean they lost fat, but they lost muscles?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're bang on.
What are some of the myths around fat loss?
So the most common myth which I come across most of the time is, can I just reduce the fat from my belly? Or from my arms or from my thighs?
You read my mind, because I was wondering the same thing. Can I just target on my belly?
You don't have the belly though. Come on.
Oh, it's there.
Not at all. Okay. So so that is called spot reduction, which is absolutely not possible. So you cannot remove fat from one part of your body, right? So if you have to lose the fat, it has to go from your overall body. You cannot just reduce from one part. Okay, it's not possible.
What if you do a lot of core exercises?
If you do a lot of core exercises, you're just wasting your time. Just wasting your precious time, which could have spent on probably designing your fat loss journey in a more structured and precise manner. So you're just wasting time doing crunches and some other stuff if you're aiming to just lose the fat from one part of the body, which is not possible at all. Right? Yeah. So that is one myth which is very common amongst a lot of people. And the second one, so there is like a lot of people ask me that if they eat a lot of carbs in night, will that put fat on their body? So that's also a myth.
That's a myth?
That's a myth. Yeah.
Eating carbs
at night. So basically, fat loss is all about calories in and calories out. So the fewer the number of calories you take in, the more fat you burn, right? So it's just about calories in and out, right? So it doesn't matter that if you're eating late at night or whatever it is, as long as you are in calorie deficit, whatever time you eat, you're going to be losing fat for sure. So it really doesn't matter. As long as you're not eating, because what happens is like why people think that, eating late at night would actually put on a lot of fat is because in night, if you've noticed, we tend to do a lot of binge eating. We tend to do a lot of junk food, like, those popcorns and snacks while watching your Netflix and all that stuff. So obviously that's going to put on weight for sure, man. But then it's not about the calories. I mean, it's not about eating at night. Sorry, it's about the calories you eat. So that is what is important.
So, but does that mean that if you eat carbs at night, you have to work out more the next day?
Absolutely not. Regardless of, you're eating at night or whatever time of the day, it's all about calories in and calories out. As long as you are in calorie deficit, which is below the calories you're supposed to, burn, you are going to be losing fat any which ways. So it really doesn't matter. Right?
So I think a lot of us know how to do calories in. How do we do calories out?
That's where you need me. So basically again, so you cannot, so there are a lot of tools and apps where you can measure your calories, in terms of whatever the number of days or weeks. So as far as calories out is concerned, I feel the three important parameters of calorie out is essentially calorie deficit for sure.
Okay.
Then you should be having a lot of protein based food in your diet.
Okay.
So essentially all your 3 meals or 2 meals or whatever meals you have, all of them should have a good amount of protein.
Okay.
That's very important. And third and the most important thing, which is my favorite, is strength training. So
Okay.
without strength training, I should not say movement. Strength training is really important, I feel.
Okay.
So calorie deficit, strength training, and as I said, the third thing,
Protein.
yeah, the protein. So three are the important parameters
Okay.
on which your calorie out depends on. There's one more myth. A lot of people think that doing excess of cardio is gonna help them in their fat loss journey, which is an absolute myth.
Also.
Because doing a lot of cardio, you're gonna just be losing your muscle mass. And if you lose your muscle mass,
Okay.
so I mean that's really important, right? Because
Yep.
we lose 1% of muscle mass every year. And if you're losing your muscle mass essentially by just doing cardio, you're not fetching your goal any which ways. So you're losing your muscle mass, and during the course of time, your metabolism goes slow. And if your metabolism slow, then you're gone because
Yep.
you're stuck. The plateau comes, and there where people really struggle to lose fat from then onwards. So this is also one of the important myths I feel
Wow.
should be targeted.
Coming back to your three parameters.
Parameters.
Okay, for fat loss, right? So you talked about calorie deficit. You talked about the importance of having protein,
Protein.
and strength training. Let's
Strength
talk about
training.
calorie deficit first. And I'm going to ask you I don't know, it may sound like a very noob kind of a question, but it's a real question that I have.
Yeah, yeah.
What is calorie deficit?
So basically, everybody has a calorie maintenance,
Okay.
then a calorie deficit, and a calorie surplus. So you can calculate your calorie maintenance through any of the Google app. So for example, if your calorie maintenance is 1500, which
Okay.
I don't think so it is. I'm sure it is 2000 or maybe even more than that. And if you are eating the calories which are less than 2000, so then you will always be in calorie deficit. So every week, if you remain on calorie deficit of 500, 500 grams, then you would be losing at least 500 to 1 kilo of body fat from your body.
Okay.
So this is all about calorie deficit. But if you remain on calorie maintenance, you will be either you'll not be even losing weight or gaining weight.
Okay.
But if you become in calorie surplus, then obviously is the point where you are actually gaining a lot of fat.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't know how to calculate, or they don't know that how many calories this food contains. So that is
Okay.
the reason they just don't know how to calculate that, and they don't know the value of the proportion of the food they have.
So does that mean it is important to track?
Absolutely. It's I would not say it's very important to track, but if you're a beginner, because it gets a little complicated also, I feel, because see, if you're if you're going to the office, or you're a very busy professional, how would you even calculate every day like this much of grams of rice or this much of gram of dal or whatever you're eating? So basically, in those areas, what I tell people as a beginner, you should always focus on intuitive eating.
Okay.
So intuitive eating is all about portion control, So initially when you start, you just start slowly and steadily, right? So just see your portions. So the amount of food you're eating in one plate, it should decrease, in every meal. So that is how you can just, probably calculate or track your food.
Okay.
Instead of just calculating, every meal, which is very tedious process. So that is the suggestion I would rather give it to the beginner. So basically portion control,
Okay.
intuitive eating,
Yep.
just what you're eating. So in your food, you should have more of proteins,
Okay.
as I just said,
Yep.
more of complex carbs, wholesome food.
Okay.
For example, if you're going for oats, do not go for masala oats.
Okay.
Because masala oats will have your oil, your sugar, your salt. Just go for plain oats.
Plain oats, like
More
overnight
complex.
oats.
Yeah, so overnight oats is just a form of making a recipe, but I'm just
Okay.
saying it like when you see so basically it's one ingredient. So basically, the lesser the ingredients, the better the product is, right?
Okay.
So go for complex carbs, like instead of potato, you can go for sweet potato. Instead of masala oats, just go for normal rolled oats.
Okay.
So go for complex carbs, wholesome fruits, your wheat, no bread, more wheat, so all that stuff. So that is one thing, Portion control is second, and then chew your food.
Okay.
Do not use your mobile phones or keep on watching Netflix.
Tell me more about chew your food. Feels like something we all know how to do since the time we were born, but
absolutely, but nobody does it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So just eat, relax, enjoy your food. I think all these years, why I'm been able to maintain my weight like this, of course, the strength training and the other things.
Yeah.
I've always loved my food. I've always enjoyed it.
Okay.
I have taken time to relish what I'm eating. Is what makes me the healthier version of myself today.
Okay.
So that's very important. I think just enjoy. Have a good talk with a friend of yours, or maybe listen to something which you like listening. But do not watch TV or be on the mobile phone or do work alongside.
I've seen people who proudly proclaim, okay, that they are a fast eater.
Fast eater.
Right? Like yeah, that's just me. I eat really fast. I'm sure I can finish eating before you.
Sure.
But technically, so you're saying that's not a good thing, right?
Absolutely not.
But is there a science behind it then for eating fast? How does that contribute to fat gain or fat loss between eating fast and eating slow?
So basically, when you're eating fast, you're not able to digest and observe the nutrients from the food.
Okay.
So this can actually accumulate, fat in your body. So there is a science behind it.
So talking about food, Sneha, right? Which brings me to the second part of your 3 parameters for fat loss,
Correct.
which is having more protein. Okay.
Absolutely.
So I think we a lot of us understand that we need a lot of protein.
Right.
But what are the food, or what are the kind of foods that are high in protein, both for the vegetarians and the non-vegetarians?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when we go for vegetarians, I feel that tofu,
Okay.
tempeh, your paneer. But paneer, I would not really recommend to a lot of people because a lot of people tend to overeat paneer because paneer has got a lot of fat as well. So you'll have to
Okay.
really watch that how many grams of fat or protein the paneer has. So I would say probably your soy, even soy chunks,
Okay.
your tofu, your tempeh, a nominal amount of paneer, and so these are your vegetarian proteins.
Okay.
I would not include lentils in protein because
Okay.
lentils are primarily a major source of your carbs, right? If you study, if you look, the amount of protein in the lentils, if you read the ingredients,
Okay.
it doesn't have much of a protein. But yes, if you don't have any choice, probably you can go for lentils as well.
Okay.
So more or less for vegetarians, these are the sources of protein, right? And for non-vegetarians, you have ample of options.
Okay.
Your fish, your chicken, your meat, pork, lamb, whatever.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of options.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So we've covered the first part, which was
Absolutely.
calorie deficit. We covered the second part,
Protein.
which is food with a lot of protein.
Proteins,
Now the third
absolutely.
part, which is strength training. So obviously
Yes.
strength training, going to the gym, carrying weights, sure. All right?
Absolutely.
But do things like body weight exercises, push-ups, pull-ups, all this be considered as strength training as well?
Absolutely, they're fabulous. They're fabulous for strength training.
Okay.
So basically, as I just said that, for the beginner, we cannot recommend body weight training because they would not be able to do that. It'll be too tiring for them, or for that matter, they would not be able to do push-ups, pull-ups, squats. So that is the reason I feel that if you're a beginner, so start with normal strength training in the gym or maybe light dumbbells at home, and then gradually push on to body weight training.
Okay.
And also include a lot of endurance training as well.
Okay.
Endurance training, HIIT,
Okay.
hypertrophy, obviously strength training, a lot of flexibility, mobility, core, strength, stamina, balance, coordination. So there are a lot forms of workout are there. So I feel that you should actually include all of them,
Okay.
in your workout schedule as a beginner for sure.
Cheat meals and cheat days. Allowed, not allowed, okay, not okay.
Of course. I do it every day. So no cheat meal for me. But yes, of course, it is allowed as long as you are in your calorie deficit and you are following a structured, a well programmed workout and a nutrition plan. You can have your cheat meals maybe once in a month, or
Okay.
maybe twice in a month. Even you can have your alcohol as well.
Yep.
People say that, do we have to just get rid of alcohol? I was like, no, can be in moderation, right? Everything in moderation is okay to have.
Okay.
Excess of everything is bad, right?
Yep.
So that's okay. But then as I said, maybe once in a month or, twice in a month, something like that. But that's absolutely okay.
Yeah. Whenever we're talking about, people who want to lose weight or lose fats, right?
Right.
There's all kinds of diets these days. All kinds
Right.
from keto diet to protein diets to no carb diet.
Yeah.
There's even intermittent fasting.
Intermittent fasting.
Do
Right.
do any of this work? And if they do, all right, which is the good ones and which are the not so good ones?
So I've been, Jeet, I've been training from last 20 years, okay? And I don't think so that I have followed any kind of diet, And that's what I figured out with a lot of people who I've been training so far. I haven't given any kind of diet to them.
Okay.
What I focus is nutrition. So I feel nutrition is really, really important. Nutrition and quality eating.
Okay.
So basically what kind of food you're eating and where that food is getting sourced from. That's really important,
Okay.
Really these, as long as I mentioned earlier as well, as long as you're in calorie deficit, it really, really doesn't matter what kind of diet you follow.
Okay.
So calorie deficit is the base of your fat loss. So, because even in intermittent fasting or in a keto diet or any kind of diet, for example, if you take intermittent fasting, if during intermittent fasting and during your eating window, if you're eating more calories than your maintenance calories, you're going to be putting on weight.
Got it.
Simple logic, right?
Yeah.
So how would intermittent fasting help you losing weight? Logic, right?
Yeah.
It will definitely not. Even for keto, for that matter, how long can you carry on with the keto diet? You can't just get rid of carbs all your life, can you? I don't think so. I cannot. A lot of my clients cannot. You can't be just relying on fats and proteins the whole life. Come on, you need your carbs, you need your other veggies as well, right?
Yeah.
So I feel that all these diets are just a very short-term, quick fix diet.
Okay.
You should always rely on strength training, protein eating, and nutrition. Nutrition is, I feel, is the key.
Okay.
And as well, where is your food getting sourced from? The quality is really important. Like you should really focus on good organic food. Read the ingredients about the food. Where it's getting sourced from, like your pasture-raised eggs, not just normal eggs from the market. Your chicken, your meat, your tofu, your tempeh. All of them should have good quality of sourcing. I feel that's really important.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
You make a lot of valid points, and I have been following a lot of people recently who've been doing videos about label reading, and I must say I think some of the things that I'm learning is also blowing my mind. When it comes to label reading, I find it just so enlightening.
Absolutely.
How some products have so many ingredients in it, and then you think about it, why does this product actually need this much of ingredients?
Absolutely. That is just the industry. The industry is just fetching a lot of money promoting all this, obviously.
Yeah.
just during the morning only, I was discussing with one of our clients, and I was just asking him that what did you had last night? So he's like, I had pasta with this sauce which I got it from one of the supermarket.
Okay.
I was like, okay, so can I just read the ingredients of the sauce?
Yeah.
He's like, no, it's just have a little bit of tomato and I think a little bit of salt and sugar and all that stuff. I was like, okay, but then the same thing you can prepare at home as well. Tomatoes, if prepared at home with onion, garlic, the amount of calories is so less. But the same thing if you get it from the market and read the ingredients. When I read the ingredients, it's got a lot of sugar, starch, sunflower oil, a lot of ingredients which are not even good for our health, and besides that, you're putting on a lot of calories.
Yeah.
So how can that product be good?
Yep,
So many
yep.
ingredients.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but that's where we need to educate ourselves.
Yep.
That's really important, I feel.
I think that's a very good point that you brought up. The education itself. I think that's the part that to me I feel like has been the missing link for me for a long time. And sometimes you just don't know what you don't know, right?
Absolutely.
And you think everything is fine until you educate yourself, and then you realize, oh wow, you have just taken so many things for granted simply because you did not know about it.
Absolutely. So I feel, because I think a lot of the education has to be given on terms of health and fitness in a manner that a lot of people think that it's all about aesthetics. So yes, of course, presentability is very important, looking good, classy is very important, but it's beyond that. It's about your strength, about your fitness, about, when you're just walking for a kilometer, you shouldn't feel breathless, right? If you're lifting a little bit of, things from the shop to your home, you shouldn't feel breathless, you know. So I feel that doing small things for home or playing with your children, you shouldn't get tired. So that's really important. So that's you should focus on, not just, it should go beyond aesthetics.
Got it.
Longevity, strength, stamina, flexibility, movability. That's really important.
Yep. I think my biggest takeaway for today so far has been what you mentioned early on just now, where you said every year we lose 1% of muscle.
Muscle mass.
You know, and I think that has really, it's in my mind right now, because that's something that I did not know about.
Right.
You know? And
right.
I am someone who don't go to the gym, like I really don't. You know, and which is going to be my next question to you, which is this. It's like, you know, I'm totally fine with cardios. I do my walks almost every day. I come out to the park, I do an hour and a half. You know, I've gone to the gym before. I just don't enjoy my time at the gym. I really don't. I don't mind doing push-ups and pull-ups. But now that you're saying it's important for strength training, how do I find this motivation to go to the gym and do my strength training?
Right. So first of all, having said that, doing strength training is important because a lot of people don't do anything, first of all. But as far as you're doing something, you're doing some kind of movement, like as you said that you go for a walk or you do some kind of pull-ups or push-ups or a little bit of HIIT, whatever you've mentioned, that's okay. I mean, that's okay. As long as you're doing something, it's okay. Consistency, it goes above perfection. Right?
Okay.
So as long as you're consistent of doing some kind of movement in your entire day, which is giving. So I'm not just talking about the household work.
Yeah.
It has to be obviously above household work. So some kind of, some kind of walk or some kind of little bit of strength training, like just on the in the park or, push-ups. That's absolutely okay.
Okay.
But a lot of people don't do that at all. So for those people, I think probably going to the gym, because gym gives them the environment. And people, I think, that's what I'm going to tell you next, that it's not about motivation. I think it's, again, motivation and discipline is overrated.
Yeah.
It's about the environment. The environment you create around you. So I think what I feel is that gym and going to these, these places is just motivates you, whatever. It just builds that momentum in you. That is the reason. So as long as you're doing it in the park or, you're doing some movement entire day for at least 30 to 40 minutes, that's absolutely okay. But having said that, strength training has its importance, for sure. Yeah.
So it's still a good thing to find some time to just go to the gym and do a little bit of strength training.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That is very important.
Perfect. What would your message be, right, for people beginners who are interested, to start their journey towards fat loss on the right path? What would your advice to them be?
Yeah, so basically for the beginners, I would say just go and take action. Just start it somewhere. Because, so I train a lot of captains and pilots, right? Because I used to belong to the aviation industry as well. So whenever these people come and approach me, because for them, the schedules are really uneven. It is very difficult for them to follow some kind of a pattern or a structured program. So I just tell them, okay, it's okay. What you can do is that you just get up, have your water, and the first thing you should do is just 15 or 20 minutes of workout. That's it.
Okay.
Done and dusted. And then go ahead with your, with your work, with your day schedule. So what I'm trying to say is that for the beginners who are starting their journey, just start the process. Even if you do it for 15, 20 minutes, doesn't matter. But what matters is consistency. That is one. And secondly, do not focus on immediate changes. Just go step by step. So as we said, that small habit brings the larger result, right? So just go step by step. Slow and steadily wins the race. So start developing good habits, which can become your lifestyle, So for example, as we all know that brushing teeth is our lifestyle now. It's a habit, which we have built for a number of years, right? So we cannot go away with that. So just build a healthy lifestyle in terms of, adding few good habits in your life, slow and steadily. Do not push yourself, too much that you will just end up losing everything. So I feel these two things are really important for beginners: consistency and building step by step, one after the other, one thing at a time.
Amazing. Sneha, thank you so much for sharing all of your insights with me today and to all our audience listening in. For those of you who are listening, take action. Take action. Remember the 3 things that Sneha talked about, which was A, calorie deficit, B, have a lot more protein in the food that you're having, and 3, strength training, all right? And take action, right? Weight loss is not fat loss.
Absolutely, that's really
fat
important.
loss is not weight loss. Sneha, for those who want to get in touch with you or get more information from you, I think you have an Instagram page that people can follow, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So probably you can just share the link with them.
The link to Sneha's Instagram page will be in the description. Do follow her Instagram. She's got a lot of great content. I follow it myself. I think you've got a YouTube channel as well, right?
Yes. As well, you can share the link with them. And we throw a lot of challenges like 7 days or 8 days fat loss challenge or strength challenges and a lot of other programs. So probably people are interested, they can, just start doing them. They're very nominal and very interesting and very result oriented.
Perfect. So everyone out there, follow Sneha on Instagram. Follow her YouTube channel, take part in all her challenges, all right? With that, thank you so much for joining me today in this episode with Sneha. For those of you who have not subscribed to the Ideas and Inspiration podcast, please do that now. Your support means the world to us. And Sneha, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. Yeah.